All right, hearing none, then item 6 is discussion of an ordinance to approve a financing agreement for the establishment of the Peoria Heights TIF District 3 by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and LSH Investments Limited. Matt, what does this do?
Sure. This is tied into the redevelopment agreement, or the pre-development agreement, where the developer, Mr. Herman, agrees to set aside funds sufficient to pay the cost to establish a TIF, which is the cost that we're being charged by Jacob and Klein. So again, it's a $24,000 minimum. And if the TIF does not go through, we are not obligated to repay any of the costs, so there's no risk to the village to undertake it.
Okay. Any comments on this?
And that's dealing with the bond, right? The village has no...
This is just to set up the TIF. That's what this agreement's for. We haven't, nothing relative to the bond in any of these documents other than just the pledge to use our best faith effort to try to issue them.
Okay, anything else? Any other discussion? Trustee Gett, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make the motion to adjourn.
All right, is there a second?
A second.
There is. All right, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. And it is past 6 o'clock, so we will call the regular Board of Trustees meeting to order. If you'd stand for a moment of silence, follow the Pledge of Allegiance. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and welcome everyone. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Trustee Gett. Trustee Dan Marisco. Present. Trustee Diane Marisco.
Present.
Trustee Carter.
Present.
Okay. Item 4, approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for July 18th, 2017. I would entertain a motion to approve those.
So move.
A motion by Trustee Gett. Second by Trustee Dan Mariscal. Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
No, none to report.
Okay, and I don't have any announcements for tonight, so we would be at item 7, recognition of the Peoria Youth Basketball. Trustee Gett, will you help me introduce these folks?
Trustee Gett, will you take these down?
Oh, thank you. So everyone here tonight from the basketball team, would you come forward?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Good. You are. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Coach, would you come up here and introduce your team, please, and tell us a little bit about your team?
This is the Heights team for the summer. We went to a tournament. It's the AYBG National Tournament, and it's a tournament where if you're first, second, or third, you place in this tournament, and we end up going to the tournament and getting first place in the tournament. So we have Kennedy Henry. She come on. Ariana Gett, Janessa Wallace, Emily Dana, Olivia Reese, Destiny Harwood, Carly Macedo, and Chloe. Where's Chloe? Chloe, come on up.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, and thank you, ladies, for being here tonight. Trustee Gett, who does so much for our community, wanted to recognize you, and we're very happy to do that. There are cupcakes over on the table. Those are for you, all of you, and water over there, so make sure you take one or two each. And I have a proclamation that I'd like to read. Whereas, alongside coaches and family members, the American youth basketball team made a huge commitment to becoming the best team possible, and whereas the American youth basketball team celebrated their team's win during the AYBT Nationals, and whereas the Board of Trustees would like to recognize Kennedy Henry, Ariana Gett, Risa Foster, Chloe Guchel, Olivia Reese, Carly Macedo, Emily Dana, Janessa Wallace, Jade Mitchell, Brenia Hickman, Lamia Thomas, and all members of the Peoria Heights Patriots team for their accomplishments, and whereas the Board of Trustees would like to recognize Coach Chris Reese and assistant coaches Corey Hill, Jennifer Reichert, and Ron Foster for their leadership and guidance, and whereas the Board of Trustees would like to recognize all the parents, families, sponsors, and volunteers who supported this team along the way. Now, therefore, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Peoria Heights would like to formally recognize the American Youth Baseball Team as champions, and hereby proclaim August 15, 2017 as American Youth Basketball Day. Michael E. Phelan, Mayor, Margaret Goff, Clerk. So congratulations. Thank you again for being here. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Don't forget that one. Yep.
Very nice.
Okay, Mr. Gorman, come forward, please. And anyone with the STEM Academy. Everybody come forward if you're with the STEM Academy. So with us tonight are the graduates of the STEM Academy. It's the Richwoods Township Pearl Technology STEM Academy. Don Gorman is the supervisor for Richwoods Township. So Don, would you tell us what's going to happen tonight?
Well, I think we need a little power plug-in here. If they're ready to set, can you set it up, Jake? Can you get yours going to make a demonstration here? Okay, so you're still connected, ready to go? Why don't you show the front, Colin and Madison? This is Jake Chandler, Colin Hilberg, and Madison Caraway. And you can kind of demonstrate like you did here for the township meeting, the component that's in the back side, and maybe explain a little bit here, come up to the mic and explain a little bit about the Raspberry Pi. A lot of people maybe not understand what a Raspberry Pi is, but if you would like, there's a power plug here. If you want to, Jake, if you want to set yours up and take the back off of your unit so they can see the Raspberry Pi in there and its operation. And I don't see Dave Johnson from Pearl. He must not have been able to make it. I don't see him. But they'll show you this component here that they spent 4 days working on this. What this project was this year was the magic mirror. And, yes? Colin, can you get yours set up? Pardon? Yeah, we'll see if he can get set up, get his going. And while they're doing that, Jake, why don't you come on up here and tell the audience here about the project and what you learned from it and the participation of all the other students there in this 4-day class. Go ahead.
Talk about Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi and what was all involved in putting this magic mirror together, those the Carpenter apprentices being involved, how they helped you the first day, kind of explain what you went through daily there while Colin's getting his set up.
The Raspberry Pi is a Linux computer, and the name Raspberry comes from back in the 80s. computers were named after fruits like apple. And the Pi stands for Python interpreter, right?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Madison, would you like to say a little bit here? Oh, yeah, Colin's got his going.
The first day, what we did was they gave us pieces of wood, and what we did was we nailed them, all of them together, and then we had to put the mirror, well, the glass part on it. So what we did was we put them all together, and first we nailed them together. Then what we had to do was we had to put the glass in, and then we had to make the back for it. So we had to put screws, and we had to use a chain to put it up so we could have it stand. And we had to put what are those things called?
Raspberry Pi?
No, the other thing. To connect, so the back closed.
So you could need to program that up? Program that? I'm not sure, but just go ahead and explain it best.
Well, how we got the screen to project was we had to go use computers, and we had to type in a lot of codes and download the pictures to the computer.
Thank you. Colin, you have anything to say? Can you explain how much technology is in that little Raspberry Pi as compared to when the first astronaut went in space? Anybody remember that?
No.
Okay. That little unit right there has more technology in it than what the first astronaut had in his space capsule when they went to space. So there's a lot of possibilities. They can get the news, the weather, other reports, and they can really do a tremendous amount of things with it. And it's been a great program, and I think from what I'm hearing, the participants really learned a lot. And to thank these kids here any of you going on to high school now, or are you still all in grade school?
Grade school.
You're all still in grade school, right? Okay. Do you look at participating next year?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mayor?
Well, thank you all for being here, and this is really something that I'm proud of. It goes back to my days at Richwoods Township, and I can't thank Pearl Technology enough. The Carpenters Union Apprenticeship School, so Pearl Technology, Dave Johnson, who is their CEO, spends an awful lot of time preparing the curriculum for this, as do the Carpenters Apprentice School, so they help build the box. Pearl Technology takes the kids through programming, the Raspberry Pi. So STEM, by the way, and I didn't know this until I began this program, but STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and that's really where the jobs of the future that are going to be living wage, good paying jobs are going to be. So we're trying to get kids in the community to be more interested in the science and technology field. So let me read this proclamation. Whereas Madison Caraway, Isabel Van Winkle, Jake Chandler, and Colin Hilberg have participated in the STEM Academy, and whereas the Village of Peoria Heights would like to congratulate them for successfully completing the STEM Academy, and therefore I, Michael E. Phelan, Mayor of the Village of Peoria Heights, do hereby express in the Village of Peoria Heights our sincere recognition of these students, in witness whereof I have set unto my hand and caused the seal of the Village of Peoria Heights, Illinois, to affix this 15th day of August, 2017. Margaret Goff, Village Clerk. Michael E. Phelan, Mayor. So congratulations, everyone. And Trustee Supervisor Gorman, I'll let you have that. Thank you all for being here, and the cupcakes are for you as well, so help yourself.
Parents, you want to get a picture of the kids with this? Step over here with me.
Okay. We're going to move on. So trustee reports, economic and community development. Trustee Mariscal, would you like Mr. Fick to give you a report? Okay.
Well, what Trustee Mariscal was going to announce was going to be some of the times. I know a lot of people interested in the process to look at the new TIF district. So there's still several opportunities for public input. The next one would be September 19th at 5:30. There'll be a public hearing to talk about the TIF, and then October 3rd is a regular board meeting for further discussion. October 31st is a joint review board meeting. Another public hearing November 21st, and then the actual adoption would be late December, maybe even January, before the actual adoption of any new TIP would be taking place. So we can put, I'm looking for Sarah back there, we can put this on our village webpage if anybody wants to take a look at it. They'll have all the dates and times of all the meetings coming up. They can take a look at it there.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, along the lines of economic and community development, would you come forward and tell some good news about our new partnership with Bradley University and the Turner Center, please?
I'll just give you guys a brief update about some news I found out. I think it was Friday morning. So last week I took the time out to meet with Stephanie from the Chamber and Bruce Brown from Paparazzi, and we sat down with Bradley University, the Turner Center for Entrepreneurship, and we were interviewed by an intern to see if we could go about getting into a program to have an intern come out to Peoria Heights and do a study to see what residents, visitors in Peoria Heights want to see, what they like and what they dislike. So he interviewed us and he said that we would likely get into the program, but we would hear back soon. So the next day I actually get a call from Bradley, and they liked our application so much that they wanted to have us be a case study in the market research class. So we would be an entire semester of like 26 students where they would be studying Peoria Heights, doing an analysis on us, and even though this will take longer, we'll get some more detailed results. So that's all the news I have right now. We'll be getting some more details at a later date, but I at least thought it was good news worth sharing for the time being. So.
Thank you for your work on that.
You're welcome.
I would like to take this time to thank Dr. Bob Scott from Bradley University, who's a professor of economics, and Jim Foley, who oversees the Turner Center for Entrepreneurship. They have been helping us pretty extensively in an economic development steering committee that we've been putting together, and they have really been very helpful to us, and they, I think, made it very easy for us to get this application in the works and to be successful. So thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, next we'd be at police. Trustee Carter.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody about the stop sign on Marietta and Prospect. I don't know about you guys, but I love it because I live on Marietta, and it's so much easier to get out. You still have to watch the cars that still blow it on Marietta that are not familiarized with the stop sign, but pay attention, it's there. It is, the police officers are there watching. So pay attention. There's a stop sign on Marietta and Prospect, so.
Thank you, Trustee Carter. Chief Sutton, anything else? Okay. Building and property, Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
Okay. Trustee Reichert is absent tonight. Public Works, Trustee Harn is absent. So we would be at Administration and Personnel. Trustee Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
Okay. And finally, an update from Trustee Carter on a very successful Music Fest, and I want to thank you so much, Cheryl, for all the time and effort you put into that. So do you have a report you'd like to give us?
I do. Mayor Allen did a lot of work at this Music Fest. I just have to put it out there. I mean, it just wasn't me, it was us, the village that's up here. Sarah did a lot of work. Mike Casey helped us with the beer tent, which helped us out tremendously. All the bands that I got.
Drinking or serving?
Yeah, the bands that I was able to get at last minute. I appreciate all of them committing to us, and there was I thought it wasn't There's a lot of people. Me, I like to see a lot more people, which in sales, you always want to see more people. But I thought it turned out really well, and I hoped that we could do it next year. So
I hope we
appreciate
can,
everybody
too.
that helped out. For me, from even the volunteer fire department, I'll tell you what, 11 o'clock, I have to mention his name. 11 o'clock, we closed up, and I turn around, and who do you think? Volunteer fire department helped clean up after it was all over with. Don Faulkner was there at 11 o'clock that night, Friday night and Saturday night, helping cleaning up. I was so impressed. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I thank him tremendously. I mean, he's
I saw that
an
myself.
elderly man. I'm not going to say how old he is. He's an elderly man that, I go to bed before 11 at night if I have the chance, and he was here helping us. So
We do know he has 60 years on the fire department,
yes.
so that's public
So I
record.
really appreciate everybody that helped out. And there's a few things that we learned that we know that we'll do next year. We're prepared, so I thought it turned out really well.
I agree. Any question for Trustee Carter on that? Okay. We'll be at public comment, so if anyone wants to make public comment, if you come forward and give your name and address, please. Any public comment? Going once? Going twice? Okay, public comment is closed. Old business. Any old business? Okay, we'll be at new business. The first is approval of a use of Village Hall for General Wayne Downing American Legion Post meeting on Saturday, August 26th. Trustee Diane Mariscal, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to propose for us to approve the use of the Village Hall for the General Wayne Downing American Legion Post meeting on Saturday, the 26th. We were contacted by Mike Gilmore, who is the Military Veterans Affairs Advisor for Darren LaHood. He's requesting to use the Village Hall on that day for a meeting with the American Legion Post.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
I do. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Dan Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Okay, that passes. Next is approval for use of Village Hall for Jim Maloof Realtor, meeting on Tuesday, August 22nd. Trustee Mariscal, may I have a motion to approve that?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the use of the Village Hall. This would be on August the 22nd, which is a Tuesday, for Jim Maloof Realty. I guess what they're planning to do is have their meeting here to give out some special surprises and awards to some of their agents. They also are going to go in the tower and take some pictures, and then possibly make a TV ad out of the footage.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
I do. Okay, discussion on the motion. Any questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
And Trustee Dan Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Next is ordinance 2017-1512, an ordinance to approve a pre-development agreement by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and LSH Investments Limited. Trustee Dan Mariscal, do you have a motion for that?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2017-1512.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I do. Any discussion on the motion?
This is just for the pre-development. I'm sorry, I'm going to be questioned a lot here, so.
Council, one more time, would you like to explain what we're doing here?
Just this that we're approving is just for a pre-development to saying that we do agree with what he's wanting, what Larry's wanting to build, correct, in the TIF district?
That is correct.
Okay.
There would be, after TIF district is created, there would be another final agreement that you have an opportunity to vote on.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Dan Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Okay, that passes.
Did we get a second on that?
Next would be ordinance 2017-1513, an ordinance to approve a professional services agreement for the establishment and annual administration of Peoria Heights TIF District 3 by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and Jacob and Klein Limited and the Economic Development Group Limited. Trustee Mariscal?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2017-1513.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
I do. Any discussion on the motion?
I don't.
If you're ready for the question, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
And Trustee Dan Mariscal.
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal.
Aye.
And Trustee Carter.
All right, and that passes.
Wait a minute, I've not said aye yet, but I need to understand, and I'm sorry, I need to understand what is this one exactly for? If this is to approve his, I just want to make sure I'm not approving anything that deals with this bond yet.
Okay, the one we just passed, Cheryl, or the one that we're about to vote on?
The one that we're looking at now, the 1513. Because
Okay.
I need to get more questions answered on the bond issue. So I want to make sure between the three that I'm not approving the one that is the bond, because I just want to, I'm not
Okay.
comfortable with that one.
Matt?
Okay, well, the one that just passed prior to has the language regarding the bond. This one is an agreement with us and Jacob and Klein to study the TIF area and put the plan together.
Okay, so I just asked about that one, if it's just his development. It didn't,
Do you want to change your vote on that?
yes, I do, because I'm not comfortable with the bond part of it yet, because I think we need to have a full discussion on that, on the bond, because that's more money that the village is going to be putting out, and I think that's, I'm not sure I want to go in that route.
Okay, so let the record show that there was one dissent on that. Next would be an ordinance 2017-1514, an ordinance to approve a financing agreement for the establishment of Peoria Heights TIF District 3 by and between the Village of Peoria Heights and LSH Investments Limited. Trustee Mariscal?
Excuse me, was there a vote on that last one?
We called the roll on that, did we not, Madam Clerk? Oh, we didn't.
It was
3-1.
3-1.
We called the roll.
I thought you were saying that Trustee Carter did not approve the 1512. Is that correct?
Because that's the part about the bond. I guess there's a bond
So
issue problem with that one.
But
So
on
yes.
the 1513, you approved that one, right?
As long as, I approve it, as long as it doesn't talk about the bond that the village is going to be held responsible for.
Okay, so I have 3-1 on the 12 and 4-0 on the 13.
Okay, now we'll be at 14. I'd entertain a motion, or Trustee Mariscal, you already made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I do, by Trustee Gett. Any discussion on this motion?
And this one is only saying that Larry is going to administer the 32,000 or
Right, he'll be responsible.
whatever it is.